Hey guys, I'm Emily Ball here with Rick Watson, Director of Broadcasting at Radford University and voice for the Yankees. Alright, jumping straight to it, how long have you been broadcasting for the Yankees?
This is my first year here for the Yankees. David Hagan, the owner, has approached me a few times in the past. It never worked out time-wise, but this summer I had an opportunity, a couple months more free time than I'm used to. So, I grew up in the New River Valley, came here a lot when this Pulaski affiliate was with the Braves and the Mariners and the Phillies and so forth. So it was nice to come back here and work in my community and be part of this.
Alright, so what are some other broadcasting opportunities that you've had?
Well, there's been a lot of opportunities. As a matter of fact, I worked over at Virginia Tech for a while, for a couple of years, and then Dave Hunsiker left Radford University, and Wes Durham before him was kind of my mentor. So when Dave left the Radford University job, I grad, so that job came open, and I interviewed and got the job, and it's home. It's my alma mater, so it's fun calling games. So that's what I'm doing now. And you do about everything, travel with basketball, but being an RU, like I say, it's a special feeling when you're calling games for your alma mater.
So overall, how many years have you been into the broadcasting field?
Oh, for the broadcasting itself, about 24 years overall. This will be my 19th year down at Radford University. Had opportunities here and there to move, but once you have a family and once your kids start growing up and you're happy where you are, you realize that you're pretty pleased with the hand you've been dealt. So I just stayed at Radford and watched our department build, our athletic department, and what we do from a broadcasting perspective with our radio networks and with the video content. So it's been exciting to be on the forefront of that.
So over those 24 years, have you had any just games that were the most memorable, some by far favorite games that you've had?
The one last night was pretty cool, winning at the walk-off there at the bottom of the ninth. But I think anytime you do an NCAA tournament game, basketball or for baseball, that's been fun. Getting to go to the NCAA is a special feeling. And, Radford just coming off their very first ever NCAA win in the first 4 game in Dayton against LIU Brooklyn. That was special to be part of that. And then we went up to Pittsburgh to take on Villanova, eventually won the national championship. So I think this most recent stint into the postseason was probably the one that stands out right now.
So kind of backing up a little bit, what got you into broadcasting? Is it something that you always knew you wanted to do, or?
Yeah, you listen to guys growing up on the radio when you're small, out-of-town baseball broadcasters was really when I first started. And you switch over to basketball and you start to learn more when you pay attention on TV. And I used to have one of those old metal electric football games. It was Tudor games. You could buy the little plastic NFL teams and set up the formations and cut it on, and it had that little buzzer sound, the zzz, and they would move around. Most of the time people said, they jumble and they fall down, it's not a good toy. But if you knew what you were doing, you could run the formations like they were supposed to be. So I would start to play, and I had a little one of those handheld recorders, the old, you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, your generation, but it was an old cassette recorder. You could plug in a microphone on the side and hold the microphone while you were watching the plays, and that's how I got started. And I would just watch TV and make notes and mute the TV and start calling the game that way. So I guess it's always been there when I realized I couldn't play. As I got older, my body didn't hold up, so it's a way to stay around sports, which I've always loved. It's been part of my life. So I guess from an early age, I knew I wanted to do this.
Would you say that broadcasters who are involved in sports in high school and stuff tend to go be sports broadcasters to keep the sports journey alive?
I would say so. I think play-by-play guys, they can come from all sorts of different backgrounds. I think most of the time you're analysts when you see a guy, it's usually a former player or a lady. It's always a former athlete or it's a former coach. Those are the folks they usually hire for the analytical part of it. But the play-by-play guys, if you know the sports and you grew up with it, it helps. But I don't think it's as imperative to say, okay, I was around sports my whole life and I can be a play-by-play guy, because the play-by-play, you're telling what's going on, and then analyst, he or she is telling you why it's happening and breaking down all the X's and O's. So I think there's a little dynamic there that plays it off very well.
So finally, if someone came to you saying, hey, I want to be a sports broadcaster, what is some advice that you could give them to help them achieve their goals?
Listen to Bill Roth. 2 games work. Even no matter what level it is, just get behind a microphone and do it, whether it's TV, whether it's radio. take whatever you can, learn as much as you can about every sport, pay attention to the broadcasters you like, create your own style. Don't copy styles necessarily, but you can kind of make mental notes about the way games are supposed to be formatted and how a game's supposed to flow. Picture yourself as a listener. How do you like to hear a game? How do you like to listen to someone? And try to portray that in how you broadcast. But just do as much as you can, learn as much as you can about the industry, and don't think it's silly to record a game and mute it. You know, do it and go back, and then later on you can broadcast it that way if that's what you want to do. So just make sure you stay out in front of it and just try to work on it as much as you can with your free time.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
What would I like to add? You know what? When you come to work, when you're around sports, you're getting paid to sit and watch a game. So keep that in mind as motivation. That's what it's always been to me. You know, Wes Durham always used to say, "Hey Rick, it's not work. We're around sports." So there's a lot of truth to that. So there's a worse place to be than come out here on a Sunday evening with the ballpark behind us, this setting, and beautiful Calfee Park. So just always remember that and appreciate those opportunities.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I'm Emily Ball here with Rick Walker.